All right. Okay. Well, welcome to Summit Center for Spiritual Living, where we share universal good through love. And Michael's going to light our candle and explain that.
Good morning, everyone. And I was transporting our candle down to where I usually uh, do this, where we usually do the service, or where I'm usually at. It smelled so good with vanilla. So this morning I light our candle. It has 2 wicks in it. The wax represents again that there's only one. First candle I light is that of the divinity candle. Again, recognizing the divinity in you, as you, and through you. That's what all the great teachers, avatars, and saints came to reveal, was that the kingdom of heaven was within us. The second candle I light, or the second wick, represents our community candle. And what it does is, again, if you notice that as I lit it, us meeting together as community, again, we shine a much greater light into the world. So thank you.
All right. And John's going to sing us a song.
Loving Now. Loving yesterday, loving tomorrow, loving today, loving now, loving awareness, kindness and happiness, peace and goodness, loving now. Loving music, loving singing, loving harmony, loving now, loving awareness, kindness and happiness, peace and goodness, loving now. Loving forgiveness, loving gratefulness, loving creativity, loving as we go, loving wisdom, being kinder, living better, loving what is good. Loving nature, loving beauty, loving each other, loving now, loving awareness, kindness and happiness, peace and goodness, loving now, loving now.
Oh, thank you, John. Appreciate that.
Couple stuck notes in my harmonica there.
I'm Tim. It's good to see you. And all right. Anyways, Tim, are you going? You can just nod. You didn't plan any music today, did you? Okay, just double check it
That's good.
because John already did it. Okay. All right. Just wanted to make sure. All right. So, okay, this is 365 Science of Mind for today, for May 17th, and it starts off with a quote from the Bible. The Lord is my strength and my shield. Therefore my heart greatly rejoiceth, and with my song will I praise him. And that's from Psalm 28:7. God could not withhold anything from me. That which is God, which God is, God has given fully unto me to enjoy. The life of God is perfect, it is eternal, it is the essence of all things. That life is God's gift to me. Therefore, this fullness is within me, ready to manifest through me as I partake of it, since I am self-choosing, even though divinely endowed. I partake of my divinity only as I let it through. I am always in the midst of plenty everywhere. I now consciously begin to draw upon the life that is mine. I know I begin to re-educate myself definitely by whatever steps I may, to believe that there is given unto me a fullness of life, which is the divine in its origin, eternal in its presence, and always forever available. The life of Almighty is my life. The infinite richness of God is mine to enjoy. The vital good health, the wisdom, the joy, the peace of God are mine. All things that proceed from God may be mine. I now claim them. The act of taking is my right and privilege. I exercise it now intelligently and in full faith. And that is 365 Science of Mind. All right. John's going to lead us into a meditation, or with a song with a meditation, and Michael's going to do the meditation. So thank you.
Here we are together, being, sharing, breathing, thoughts and sound, healing in the harmony, feeling radiance all around. Hearing music, feeling it ringing, life is flowing up and down, letting go, being free with a smile from toe to crown. We are living love awareness, living beauty, love and peace, knowing, loving in your heart is the way of true relief.
So let's breathe. Let's take a deep breath in together. Inhale, exhale. Just release the breath as you release the tension in your body. Do that again. Inhale and exhale, doing a body scan. Just release more. Just sink into the chair. And one more time, inhale and exhale. Again, just feel yourself heavy in the chair. And visualize with me again a beautiful ball of iridescent white light. And that's coming from your chest area. Yes, the sacred heart, the heart chakra. Imagine this pure white light, and imagine yourself just going into this light, just going towards the center of it. And as you notice yourself going towards the center, you notice yourself just becoming the light, where you are then just the light. Allow yourself to dwell and recognize that this is the truth about you, in that there is only one life, one activity, one light. And that light expresses as you and me. It may seem separate, but it's all one. We are the light. I am the light. So recognizing that from this still place within us, we recognize that within each other, that within our brothers and sisters, that there is this light that's within them. The sacred tabernacle of the Most High is also as them. So we recognize that, whether it's our neighbor, our friends, the people that we meet every day, they are also the tabernacle of the Most High. Yes. So we recognize the divinity in not only each other, but the divine showing up as nature, as this beautiful day here in Ohio, as the sun coming in through the windows, as the blue sky. We recognize that within nature. We recognize our oneness with the one. Yes. And as we recognize that today, we just give great thanks that we are radiant beings of light. And so we allow ourselves to be that more today than ever before. We put on the Christ. We put on the mind of Christ. We put on that nature that was universal, that Jesus went ahead and then claimed anew. We put on that Christ consciousness. We allow ourselves to be that which we are. We allow that divine nature now to come forth now as love, life, light, peace, power, beauty, joy, abundance, prosperity, creativity, and wisdom. So today, right here, right now, we just now dissolve anything in us that is unlike that nature. Any fear, any dread, any kind of concern, for we recognize that God is all there is. And we recognize that within us. And we recognize that within each and every person. God is all that there is. So it's from this nature of really knowing that we are one that I now speak this word for our time together. At Summit Center for Spiritual Living, I just now know that it is blessed. I just now know that the words that Diana speaks today are words that ignite within us a deeper realization of who we are. I just give great thanks for each and every person here, for we're here by divine appointment to let our light shine together into this world. so that individuals recognize and realize and sense and know that light within them. Yes, I just give great thanks for all of us being here today, because again, that we put our light on the hilltop for the world to see. And we just give great thanks for that light within us, and that light within each and every person, and that light that's within each and everything that is created, where we recognize that all is one, all is God. Yes. So now I just give great thanks for us being here today. I give great thanks for all the good, and I just now, again, release this completely and totally into that great law of life, which only knows to do one thing, and that is say yes. Yes, yes, yes. Yes. And so it is. And so we let it be. Amen.
We are living love awareness, living beauty, love and peace, knowing love in your heart is the way of truth.
All right, so let's return here. As we do, we look into each other's eyes and see the divine nature, as I talked about, within each and every person's eyes. Yes. There, and even though Hannah has her H on, I see the divine in Hannah also. And that's Hannah. All right. Here she is, practitioner emeritus and the spiritual leader of Summit CSL. It is my pleasure to introduce to you our speaker, Diana Mangus, RSCP. Turn your mute off. Turn your microphone on.
Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. Okay. So today I was trying to figure out what to talk about. And so as I was looking at different things, I happened to look at today's 365 Science of Mind. And I thought, I can make a talk out of that. Because there's so many times that, especially for somebody who may not know this teaching, that it needs a little more explaining, and I need it once in a while. So that's what I'm going to do. What I did is I'll read the passage from the Science of Mind 365 today, the section I'm going to talk about, but then the rest of it is I got from the general summary from the regular Science of Mind text. So hopefully with a few little insights. So, all right. So for 365 today, it says, God could not withhold anything from me. That which is God, that which God is, God has fully given unto me to enjoy. The life of God is perfect, it is eternal, it is the essence of all things. That life is God's gift to me. All right. So when I first read, God could not withhold anything from me. I kind of looked at that and I'm like, I guess so. There's no reason that God would withhold anything from me. But sometimes it feels like that things are being held back. Um, but that's not necessarily because God's holding back. It's because I'm not in the right mind space. I'm not in the right heart space. So then it says that which God is, God has given fully unto me to enjoy. Okay, so everything that God is mine. Seriously? Everything, everything. That's a big, thought. That's a big um, feeling that everything is mine. And that the life of God is perfect, that I can believe. It is eternal. It is the essence of all things. That was easy to understand. I believe God is perfect and it's eternal and it's the essence of all things. And that life is God's gift to me. Okay. The fact that I have life at all is because God was created me. So, yeah, I can believe that. So, anyway, so then I went to the general summary in the Science of Mind. And it starts off the mind of man is some part of the mind of God. Therefore, it contains within itself unlimited possibility of expansion and self expression. The conscious mind of man is self knowing, self assertive, it has volition, will, choice, and may accept or reject. It is the only part of man's mind which can think independently of conditions. Whoa. So the mind of man is some part of the mind of God. Okay. And it contains within it unlimited possibility of expansion and self expression. Um, but we have a conscious mind. The conscious mind is self knowing, it's self assertive, it has volition meaning choice or will and choice, and may accept or reject it. It is the only part of mind's man's mind which can think independently of its conditions. Which it'll get into a little bit more about the subconscious and the conscious mind, and we'll go into that in a minute. But the conscious mind is self-knowing, self-assertive. It already knows itself. It is already there. It's already um, it knows what it wants. But then, as we go into the next section, it says the subconscious mind of man is simply the law of mind in action. It is not a thing of itself, but it is the medium for all thought action. It is the medium by which man may call into temporary being whatever he needs or enjoys on the pathway of his experience. Okay, so the subconscious mind is just the law working. Okay, so, and we're not talking about the law here. Um, you know, did I steal something or whatever? There's law and then there is love. And God is love. Always God is love. But God is also law. And then there is the conscious side and the subconscious. And the subconscious takes in everything. It hears everything, it feels everything, it sees everything. It takes it, it puts it into our minds in some form, some way or form. Um, Sometimes very boldly, we know what it is, we feel it. But in other ways, the subconscious, because it's taking in so much information, um, we don't always realize we're taking that in. The it's kind of called the race mind, and I'm not talking about the race consciousness being, um, black, white, red, yellow. It is race consciousness is where we everything we hear, everything we do, everything we see is the race conscious mind. It is always recording up here somewhere. Somewhere it's recording stuff. And anyway, so every thought that ever was, or every word that was ever spoken, still creates. So in our subconscious, it's there to be used. It is there to uh, be pulled up and create whatever is there that's available to us. But the conscious mind is what allows us to make those decisions of what we want to use. When we consciously make a thought and we consciously decide that this is what I want to do. Oh, okay, I'm hungry, so I'm going to have something to eat. So I go and I make something to eat, and then I eat. Or I could, um, instead of getting something to eat, I could just say, okay, I'm just going to wait a little bit and hold off on that. And so that is the conscious mind making a decision at that point, making what we want to happen, allowing us to move into the uh, whatever might be the best for us. But the conscious mind is always there, and that is spirit also then helping. Uh, Spirit is taking whatever we consciously, and it now brings it forward, whatever it is. Okay, so he goes on in the in Science of Mind. It says the mind of God is infinite. The mind of man is some part of this infinite. That's important. It is infinite, but it's some part. We don't have the mind of God. We have some part of the mind of God. Creative mind of God. Therefore, the mind of man is as infinite as man's capacity to understand his true relationship to God or spirit. I'm going to repeat that. Therefore, the mind of man is as infinite as its man's capacity to understand his true relationship to God or spirit. The mind of man is continuously unfolding into a greater recognition of its real plan into the creative order of the universe. It does not yet comprehend its own power or scope, but it does know how, in some measure, to consciously cooperate with the infinite. So, as we consciously think uh, whatever it is we want, and we've realized that this is what we want, and we put it into motion, God is just going ahead and doing that at this point. But yeah, so the mind is continuously unfolding into into a greater recognition of its real plan in the creative order of the universe. So we're constantly realizing something new, something what is ever important about the consciousness. So then the next thing it says, spirit is really the only mind there is. It's eternal. It never began, nor will it ever cease to be. It is complete and perfect, happy and whole, satisfied and at peace with itself. The spirit is the only conscious intelligence in the universe. Therefore, it is the only directive intelligence in the universe. So we may be consciously making a decision and decide that this was what we're going to do, and this is how it's going, what we're going to do, and why we're going to do this. But the direction actually comes from spirit, from intelligence, from the greater mind. It comes from there. It is always doing whatever. Now, if we go back and we talk about the subconscious mind, yeah, it's taken in all this information. And because every thought continues to create, sometimes that subconscious mind or that race mind creates in ways that we don't necessarily want, because there are still thoughts that are creating everywhere at different times. And so, but only that when we use the conscious mind and we're using God's mind, complete intelligence, then things work out better for us. So then if we go back to the next part of 365, therefore this fullness is within me, ready to manifest through me as I partake of it, since I am self-choosing, even though divinely endowed. I partake of my divinity only as I let it through. I am only in the midst of plenty everywhere. Ooh. So the fullness is ready to manifest through me as I partake of it, since I am self-choosing. So we still have choice. We have choice of what it is we want. But because we are divinely endowed and we are a part of God's mind, and we can have as much of God's the will, God's greaterness, God's love, God's intelligence that we decide we want. A lot of times we forget to go ahead and say, okay, Spirit, I'm listening. I am listening. We just decide this is what we want to do and blah, 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 and just go ahead and do our stuff. That if we take the time to listen, to take the time to just be with spirit and be with that time to just feel that love that is there, that is within each and every one of us, that it really makes a big difference. When we feel the love, the peace, the joy, all the wonderful attributes of spirit that we talk about, and we actually start feeling those and recognizing those, they become a bigger part of our lives. And when we listen to spirit, it just automatically goes a lot easier, whatever it is we may be dealing with. It automatically goes better. So, back from the science of mind, he says, because the mind of man is the mind of God in man, the mind of man is conscious and directive. It is to man what God is to the universe. God is spirit, that is without parts, a universal unity of wholeness. God is mind. The self-knowing mind of God is the spirit of God, and at the same time, the spirit of man. Mind is the self-knowing state of spirit. The mind of God and the mind of man is the same mind. The conscious mind of man is part of self-knowingness of the mind of God. The conscious mind is the self-knowingness of spirit operating through the thought of man, hence its creativeness. Oh boy, there's a lot in there. There is a universe, God is mind, but God is spirit. That is without parts. So that mind is always there working, always creating, always being directed by us because we have self-choice. We have the opportunity to make a decision, whatever it may be. Um, God's there to allow that to happen. God's right there happening. But when we take the time to listen and be quiet to spirit and listen to the innermost God, the one that is in our heart, not in our head, that then we hear and we not only hear, but we feel that love, that peace, that joy. That is just so important. So then he goes on, the conscious mind of man is that part of or unity with the Supreme Spirit, which enables man to be an individual unit, separate in identity, without becoming separate from the whole Spirit of God, the whole mind of God. Without this conscious mind of man in an individualized state, God or the Spirit would have no independent offspring. Therefore, God would not be completely expressed. Okay. It enables man to be an individual unit, separate in identity without becoming separate from the whole Spirit of God, the whole mind of God. So if we didn't have a conscious mind, without the conscious mind in the individualized state, God or spirit can't be creative through us and as us. We that creativity, that who we are, of whatever it is that we are doing or are part of, that is another expression of God. And God is very, very, very extremely creative. Um, so it wouldn't be expressed completely if it didn't have us. It wouldn't have. It just we just wouldn't be. It just wouldn't be enough without the individual being available. Okay, so the eternal. I'm back at the the Science of Mind textbook. The Eternal has placed himself at the center of man's being in order that man may function individually. The discovery of this, the greatest truth about man, is the greatest discovery of the ages. The Eternal has placed himself at the center of man's being in order that man may function individually. The discovery of this, the great truth of man, about man, is the greatest discovery of the ages. When we realize that Spirit is there, directing, guiding us, leading us, and take the time to also listen to more than just our carnal mind or our race mind, race consciousness mind, we become, first off, more like Spirit, more like God. And we also just become we just become better. That's the only way I can put it. We just become better. So now if we go back to back to 365, I now consciously begin to draw upon the life that is mine. I now begin to re-educate myself definitely by whatever steps I may to a belief that there is given unto me fullness of life, which is divine in its origin, eternal in its presence, and always fully available. So when we start consciously re-educating ourselves and taking the time to listen and spend time with Spirit, with the all that is, things just become better. So I'm back to the Science of Mind textbook. It is the divine self-knowingness in man which distinguishes man from all other creation. It belongs to man alone. It appears full orbed in man alone. Man alone is able to consciously work out his own destiny, to determine what manner of life he shall lead. For it is written that God created him, but little lower than the angels, and crowns him with glory and honor. So, because God created us, we have that. We're the only ones that can make that decision. We're the only ones that can just consciously create things, but it's not us creating, it's actually Spirit creating. Okay, so the subjective mind is the part of the universal subjective mind of God. It is the place where every man individualizes himself on the subject side of life. It is his use of the law of cause and effect. It is his use of the law of karma. It is use of the law of whole, now individualized as the law of the apparent part. It may produce either freedom or bondage according to the way it is used. It may be freedom or bondage. Why would that be? Okay, it's because it's our decision. It's our thing. It's our making the decisions of what to do. Man's use of the universal law makes it appear as though his subjective mind were an entity of itself. It never is. However, and this is one of the main points we should remember, it is not separate from the universal, but is, in a certain sense, the property of the individual of the universal. God and man are one, but God is greater than man. The whole is greater than its parts. Remember that. The whole is greater than its part. It is not separated. We are not separated in any way, shape, or form, but God is greater than man, and the whole of God is there. So the universal subjectivity is mind in an abstract and formless state. That is, it is potential energy and latent power, which means that it is unformed, but always ready to take form. It's always ready to take form. It is the mind and substance in an unformed or uncreated state of being. It is ready to become molded into any or all forms. It is unexpressed power, substance, and creativeness. It is unexpressed mind. It waits to be called into form or expression. It exists in the original state, invisible, but potential with all possible form, a creative, universal energy waiting to be used, to be operated upon, while willing but having no volition on its own, ready but having no initiative, formless but ready to take form. So the subjective conscious or the subconscious is always willing to take whatever form we direct it, whatever form that is being consciously creating. But it's still there, ready to take whatever form. So as I do the last part of the 365, and that the last paragraph usually is more of the affirmations reminding us of what is important. So the life of the Almighty is my life. The infinite richness of God is mine to enjoy. The vital good health, the wisdom, the joy, the peace of God are mine. All things that proceed from God may be mine. I now claim them. The act of taking is my right and privilege. I exercise it now intelligently and in full faith. So with that, let's take our right and our privilege. Do what we want, what we know is best, and take it in full faith. So that's all I have. So if there are any questions or comments. Thank you.
Well, that was wonderful. It's almost mystical, I would say.
Thanks.
I loved it. I personally loved it very, very much. You just went through so clearly and gently explaining things. And I think they, for me, bottom line is we can have all these things as we believe.
Right.
Because if the doubt is there in saying it, or the doubt comes in, we have to get rid of that in order for really to get the bountiful harvest that we can have. And sometimes we think we know how it's going to come. At least for me, many times it never comes that way. It comes even better.
Right.
And that's, I think, one thing as I do my prayer work. Is really understanding that there's so much there that I have just touched a little bit. And in God's great wisdom, when we open to it, we can have it all, but it's not necessarily in the way we're thinking also. It's being in that place of openness. And the other thing is the subconscious mind taking in everything. So important. So because we don't know, we don't take, our subconscious mind takes it in, we don't take it in. So it kind of, to me, gives another place of, oh, this could absolutely be better, it could come in a different way. But thank you. It just it was clear,
Thank you.
and it reflects your deep clarity.
Impressions I got were that God is expressing through everything that happens, and experiencing, exploring its creativity, and that when we're no matter what we're doing, we're experiencing something and expressing that creativity. So it's all just one big creative experiment of fun. Even what seems to be bad is, for the experience of it and the contrast of it. And we just keep rolling along in creativity.
It almost always, even if it feels like it's bad at the time, when you look back on it, it always ended up being something good in some way. It may not be the greatest thing, but it is something good that usually comes of it. So thank you. Any other comments before we move on? All right. So, okay, John.
Well, one of our best expressions of creativity that we experience is nature. And it's a great time of year to experience that. So I thought I'd roll out my nature song here. The sun, the rain, the breeze, the forests and the trees, fruits, birds and animals to help us and to please. A waterfall, a stream, leaves and grass so green, woodchucks and chipmunks play in a woodsy scene. If we love nature and want to stay alive, we'll restore natural living for us to survive. Fragrant flowers in the fields, butterflies and bees delight, bats flying in the night, using radar for their sight. The spinning wheel of seasons, the eagle in its flight, the rush of wind on colors, dancing in the light. If we love nature and want to stay alive, we'll restore natural living for us to survive. bushes, pawpaws falling down, brown pears and black walnuts lying on the ground. Mushrooms on a log, leaves floating in the sky, the calling of the birds. Do you know what? Do you know why? If we love nature and want to stay alive, we'll restore natural living for us to survive.
Thank you, John. That was wonderful. Okay, so it is that time in our service where we have the opportunity to give. There are a couple ways you can do that. You can go to Zelle, or you can go to PayPal, and you would go to SSC of Akron at gmail.com. That's SSC of Akron at gmail.com. And you can give that way, or you can send a check. I don't even know if money orders still exist, but I'm sure they're out there. Money orders that you could send that with the word summit on it to 1199 Lexington Avenue, Akron, Ohio 44310, and we will get that into bank. So with that, as we symbolically take our gifts right top over left, and just know with me, all that we have, all that we give, all that we receive is blessed in a gracious manner, a very gracious manner, that it goes forth for the help of one another. And this truth that she sets us free. And so it is. Amen. Okay. Good and more good, John.
Good and more good is mine, and ever increasing good is mine. Limited, infinite good is mine. Wherever I go, I see good. Whatever I do, I feel oh so good. I'm worthy and I plan to be good and more good. Good crowds itself upon us, wraps itself around us. We give ourselves permission to accept more good, express more good. Oh, good, more good is ours, and ever increasing good is ours. Thank you, Spirit, and so it is.
Okay, thank you. Time for announcements. Michael.
Yeah. Yes, I spend most of my week with NT Media, New Thought Media Network, ntmedia.org. We do prayer twice a day at 10:15 in the morning, 10:15 in the evening, Eastern time. And I did the Science of Mind and Spirit lesson yesterday, which was on a lesson on successful living, taken from the Science of Mind textbook. So I thought it came out pretty good for only having 24 hours to put it together. So again, I'll watch that. I thought it would. I think it. I was almost going to tell Diana that I thought that she went ahead and she stole a lot of what I said from my talk, but no, it was she didn't. But so just go to and this is also on our the things that I do are also on our Facebook page also. So thank you. John, what are you doing these days besides doing weddings?
Well, in addition to mowing and trimming bushes and planting garden plants and doing weddings for you, I put up blogs at yeswise.com and Yeswise channel on YouTube. So look for my Inspiry blog at yeswise.com or on YouTube at Yeswise channel. And my music at johndavidmiller.com, because it's over here.
Carol Ann, did you have something?
Yes, as my voice is finally coming back, it was interesting because that flu was such violent coughing with it that it did a number on my vocal cords. As my voice is starting to come back, I am beginning to look at doing some workshops again. So it's in the works. My voice isn't entirely there for to talk that long, but it's coming. So I am very pleased and excited with that.
Wonderful. Okay, and then next week, Carol Ann is our speaker, and
Yes,
so
and the topic is liberty.
Liberty. All right, perfect with
So that's
Memorial Day
next,
coming up.
that's next
Yes.
Sunday for Memorial Day weekend.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, so that'll be wonderful. And then the following Sunday, I think we're just going to do a discussion, unless somebody wants to actually do a talk. So, because we have 5
We know how to
Sundays.
talk.
we we have 5 Sundays in May, and we'll have to start planning our June stuff as well. So, with that, it is that time where we have a moment of silence, and want you to, as we do this moment of silence, please take into your hearts and minds anybody who may need some extra positivity, uh, whether it be for health or wealth or emotional or spiritual help, whatever it may be, or it may be just for the world and peace. That just will go into the silence. John, pink, please. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Whoa, let me get here. All right. Life is real. Life is true. We are life. Living is me and you. Joy is real. Joy is true. We are joy. Living is me and you. Peace is real. Peace is true. We are peace. Living is me and you. Love is real. Love is true. We are love. Living is me and you. Living is me and you.
All right. Thank you so much. And Hannah, you can hit our Facebook feed now. And,